welcome. I'm going to wait just a few seconds to see if anyone joins in. It's already almost 6:30. I was having some difficulties. Apparently, when you schedule a live for a later time, you have to log on before that scheduled time or it basically erases the video. I didn't know that with it being my first live, so I was scrambling trying to figure out what was the matter, and the video was gone, so I had to redo it. So if you're watching the replay, my name is Candace, and I do a lot of vegetable and flower gardening. Last year I started a cut flower farm, so my channel has primarily been about the cut flower farm, but I do still try to include a lot of the videos and things about my flower gardens and my vegetable garden. So I cannot see as far as my phone is, so I'm going to log into my laptop really quick just so that I can see your guys' comments. I don't know how people that are doing lives have the phone so far away and they can still read the comments. I don't know if they have a monitor or what, but even though I have pretty good eyesight, I still can't see that far away. So please just be patient with me for a second. Okay, there we go. And please be patient with me in general because this is my first time going live and I'm a little bit nervous and I don't know what I'm doing. So please just bear with me here. I still cannot figure out how to see your comments, so I'm going to have to log into another account, I guess, because all it's wanting to show me is to edit the video. Okay, there we go. All right. So I have here a Johnny's, see, this is why I'm so nervous, because I'm going to lose my train of thought probably a million times. This is my Johnny's seed order. I have American Meadows, Floret, Baker's Creek, Swallowtail Gardens, Gardener's Workshop, and M.I. Gardner here. I'm going to try to get through this fairly quickly, but I do also want to still try to talk about each thing, a little bit. I'm not going to go in a lot of detail, but I do want to talk about them a little bit and, maybe what their best use is, or if I've grown them before, what I think about them, instead of just, rambling off, all the varieties. Voice is going out though, so I need to take a drink really quick. All right, let me get some scissors. Oh, and Seed. That seed order was supposed to be here today, and unfortunately it didn't come. So I will do a part 2 Either I'll try to do it one day this week or next weekend. Oh, wow. Look at that seed packet. Wow. So these are Provider bush beans. I've always grown bush beans, but I've only grown like a handful of plants at a time, and it's never been enough to actually, you know, fill up a pot and cook them. And I want to grow a lot of them this year to actually be able to cook them and have enough for a dinner, and you know, to be able to hopefully can some. I've never canned before, but I'm wanting to get into preserving a lot of things this year because I'm tired of only having fresh, healthier options when I'm growing them in the summer. So, Provider bush beans. And this is so big because I got a bunch of Agribon row covers because I got a hoop house, if you don't know, this year. We just finished it. I'm hoping it holds the heat. It looks like it's holding it. I have anemones and ranunculus that I planned on starting in the fall. I pre-sprouted like late December, so I've had them in my grow room because I haven't had the hoop house finished, and I already have some row covers, but I ordered some more to see if maybe I could like triple or quadruple layer it until we could figure out the hoop house situation, because what I ordered, like the little clips that snap on all the bars, they were either popping off every time the wind blew or something. But anyways, this isn't about that. So that's what that is, though. It's unfortunately not a huge box of seeds. It's mainly that, but I did get a lot from Johnny's. And then let me know in the comments. I'm going to start with Johnny's. Let me know in the comments, what do you want to see next? Do you want to see Baker Creek, Floret, Gardener's Workshop? Which one? Hello, Pixie Petals Flower Farm. Thank you. And GT Junior grows it, Alaska. Yeah, that is a huge box, but like I said, unfortunately, it's not all seeds. Oh, you mean the bean seed packet. All right, so for starters here, I have Oklahoma Mix Zinnias. For a lot of the Zinnias this year, what I chose to do was, instead of having to buy all the colors, you know, at $3, $4, $5, $6 a pack, like I did last year, what I chose to do this year is I got the mix, but for the colors that I really want a lot of, you know, because sometimes when you buy mixes, a lot of them end up being red or yellow or orange or, you know, a color that you don't really care for. And so I got the mixes, but then I bought extra of the single colors. So, oh, no, this one's Oklahoma Pink. So this one's Oklahoma Pink, but I bought the mix, and then I bought extra of Oklahoma Pink. And then like the same for Veneries Giants. I got the mix, but then I got extra of the pink, the purple, and the white. And then, so here we have Veneries Giant Purple. I really love Veneries Giants, but I'm not going to grow so many of them as I did last year, because you really only need like 2 or 3 in a bouquet, I feel, because they're just so huge. So I only do like 2 or 3 in a bouquet, and then the rest of the bouquet, I use things like basil, you know, a snapdragon, a couple snapdragons, another foliage, and then the rest of it is like smaller flowers like really small like bachelor buttons or baby's breath or the really small Oklahoma zinnias. I feel like it's a little difficult for me to do entire bouquets of like nothing but big zinnias. Like some people can do that. I just have trouble not making them all like smashed in the bouquet. So I like using a lot of smaller things. The next one that I have is Veneries Giant Carmine Rose. I grew that and the purple last year, and those were gorgeous. The next one I have is Queen Lime with Blush. I did order the Queen Lime mix, and then I ordered extra of the Queen Lime Blush. This one was so, so beautiful. If you don't know, it's like a chartreuse green, sometimes like close to yellow color, but it has like pink blush throughout it. And on most of them, the center of it is actually like a bubblegum pink. So what my favorite thing to do was to use this one with like the Oklahoma pinks. And the Oklahoma pinks, do they have a green center? I can't remember if they have a green center or like a dark purple or something. But with the pink center of the Queen Lime with Blush and then the Oklahoma pinks, they were just perfect. I love like a lime green and bubblegum pink combination. The next one I got is Pro Cut Horizon. This one, Lisa Mason Ziegler says that this one's a great one to grow for sturdy, upright necks. Sunflowers, if you grow those for cut flowers, you know that sometimes the necks kind of lean down because they can be heavy, especially if you don't harvest them before they're open. And so the necks lean down, and then so you've got all these flowers up here, and then the sunflowers are like, like heavy and hanging down. So I'm excited to try that one. Let's see what you guys are saying. Sorry. Okay, I see a couple in my gardeners. So if you're just joining, I said to let me know which ones you'd like to see next. So next I have Johnny's Status Formula Mix. I see you, Jesse, living on a prayer flower farm. You're the one that got me wanting to grow Status. I feel like that's pretty similar to yarrow, which I did grow that last year, but they got root bound and I didn't get any blooms until like really late in the season, and I only got a few of them. I feel like that's going to be similar, but I believe it's going to be more productive, so I'm excited for that one. I also got Forever Silver Status. That's a white one. Marigolds. I didn't use a lot of marigolds in my bouquets last year, and I think just because before I got into the world of cut flowers, the only thing I grew in my besides like around my house was marigolds and zinnias, and I guess I kind of just got tired of them and I just didn't feel like using them. But I wanted to try this Cocoa Gold Marigold because it's supposed to be really good for cut flowers. I also got Mountain Snow Euphorbia. Nicole at Flower Hill Farm used this in a bouquet in one of her videos last year or the year before when I first discovered her channel. I think she got it from her friend Gina that she used to always buy flowers from, and it's just so beautiful. So I'm excited about that one. I wanted to get that one last year, but my seed budget was only like $500 last year and it didn't make the cut. So next I got Lacy Lavender Blue. I'm gonna butcher this. Didiscus. It looks just like Queen Anne's lace or Dill, but it's blue. They also have it, I think, pink and purple. I wanted to get the mix from GeoSeed, but they were out of stock on that. Hello, Nikki Holton. Jesse, you're also growing the Cocoa Gold. All right, so next I have Mystery Rose Chinese Forget-Me-Not. This is also one that I wanted to grow last year. This one, I actually wanted to get it from Floret, is where I seen it first. And I wasn't able to get it there, but they have it now at Johnny's. Next I have just a mix of straw flowers. Again, mine got root bound last year. Having a 2-year-old, there were a lot of things that sat in their trays for way too long. And it was my first year. And so the only one I got blooms from were the Silvery Rose and Copper Red. I'm not really a big red and orange fan, but I try to grow them just because I know other people are. I actually got a lot of requests for orange and red bouquets last year, which was surprising to me. But they were just so beautiful. And they're really interesting because they're, actually, I might have some. Yeah, I have one right here. Let me move my coffee. I regret not drying a lot more of this. So the color's faded a little bit, but yeah, it's probably too far for you to see, but maybe you can hear, you know, how dry it is. And I don't know, it's just really interesting. And whenever it was fresh, it had the most gorgeous blush pink color. I just really liked them. So excited to grow a lot of straw flowers. Next, I have Blue Plurum. I'm excited to grow this one. This is a cold flower that I'm going to be starting in about 2 weeks. White Glitter Origium. This is also something that can be dried. I'm wanting to get into drying a lot of things this year. All the dried flower arrangements I had ever seen, you know, they looked like, you know, the thing that's been sitting on your grandparents' shelf for about 40 years. And now I'm, you know, discovering like, you know, that's not the case. There are some really beautiful flowers out there that you can dry that hold their color well, that doesn't look like just a, you know, a brown, like dried up bouquet. So excited for that. And then these two here, I'm super, super excited for. I've got Marie Chabot, and then Chabot Benigna. Not sure if that G is silent or not, but I fell in love with carnations last year. I had about 30 that I planted in my perennial cut flower garden, but I had to pull them all because where I planted them, that area floods a lot because my neighbor has kind of like a hill, like right beside it. So whenever it rains, like all the water just kind of settles right there. So I'm going to be starting all of the ones that I started last year again this year, and then I'm going to be growing these two. This one is a yellow one. I also have La France, Jean Dionys, and Grenadine King of Blacks, which is a dark purple. And so this is a yellow, and then this one is a pink. I talked about this in my last video. This is a pink with like raspberry pink edges on the like tips of the petals. It's so, so gorgeous. I cannot wait to grow those. I grew those last year. I started them pretty early. These you want to start about 10 weeks this says 6 to 8, but I've read about 10 weeks before your last frost. And you want to give these plenty of time to get a good, good amount of stem length to them, and then they will just bloom the rest of the season for you if you don't have the issue I had. Some of them made it, most of the season, but then they all ended up fizzling out. But anyways, so these are like very productive. They just kept, sending up more and more stems. They're a little hard to harvest though. Where you have your stem, where you have your leaves, your leaf nodes, like on a zinnia, you just take your hand and you just squeeze and pull down and you strip all the leaves. On a carnation, everywhere there's a leaf node, it's kind of a little fragile. So you sometimes have to be careful. On some of them, they were fine. I was able to quickly strip them. But on some that the stems were a little bit skinnier, it was a little more difficult and you had to be a little more careful. Something to think about if, you don't have a ton of extra free time on your hands. Next, I got 3 varieties of carrots. I got Dragon, Romance, and Bolero. I've got a storage carrot, and then I've got just a main crop carrot, and then I can't remember what the dragon is, but I got these to try to grow, like I said, grow most of our carrots, because to eat fresh and to also store, because the carrots that I've grown in the past have always been seeds that I got from my local grocery store. I don't know if that's why, or if it's just the variety or what, but every time I harvest them, and they never store that well. Like, I think maybe 5 days is the longest that I've been able to store the carrots that I've grown myself. So I'm hoping that those do better. And then the last thing that I got from Johnny's is Seychelles, and that's a pole bean. I know that I probably just butchered that, so I apologize. Hello, LP. Yes, I was late. Had some issues. My video disappeared because I didn't know that I had to start it before 6 or it would just disappear. So next I picked up Swallowtail, so let's do Swallowtail. First we have another name that I'm going to butcher. Violet Cosmos. Last year I grew a few varieties of Cosmos and they didn't last very long in the vase, but I also didn't harvest them until they opened up. So I'm going to try again and try to harvest them a lot earlier. But also, if I don't use them for the blooms, I loved using these for just their foliage. I got so I also found this year. It's called Fern Leaf Dill, and the leaves are kind of like, I don't know, it's very grassy looking, kind of like rosemary-ish, but like long and like more straggly looking. And I'm excited about this because that is kind of like how the Cosmos foliage was. If you haven't grown, most people have grown them, but just in case you haven't, if you haven't grown them, they just have like a lot of like frilly, very small, like needle-like leaves on them. And it's perfect for in between, like, you know, the smaller flowers and the larger flowers and the spike flowers, because it just kind of fills in those gaps. Like I was saying earlier, one of the problems I have using too many larger flowers is they all just kind of push against each other and will like smash each other. And then the petals get bent, and then I'm like worried that they're gonna like brown or get bruised. So even if I don't use the Cosmos for the flowers, I'll use it for that. Next I got White Mignette. White Mignette, I think that's how you say that. I think I first saw this one in Floret's video, or Floret's book. It was either a cut flower garden or a year in flowers, and they were just absolutely gorgeous. They kind of like start out like really white, and then they kind of like fade to like a green at the tip, if that's the correct thing that I'm thinking of. Don't quote me on that. I've been researching so many cut flowers and fillers that sometimes I mix things up. All right, so the next three I have are Lisianthus. I seen Ecco Lavender, so I said lavender. So I ordered some more Lisianthus from Swallowtail and Johnny's. I actually put in another order from Johnny's. Hold on. I'm missing my Lisianthus that I ordered from Johnny's. I had some pulled out because I actually did another order because I was afraid that my Geo order wouldn't be here in time. So I did a separate order for Lisianthus from these two places, and I pulled that out separately. So give me 1 second. So some of my seeds I keep in the fridge, and I accidentally put them back in the fridge. Usually anything that needs cold stratification I keep in the fridge, and then anything that doesn't store well. So they say that pelleted seeds doesn't store well. I don't know if it's like what they use to pellet them that causes them not to keep as long, but I do want to mention that all of my seeds that I bought pelleted last year, I've already started all of those Lisianthus, and I had just as good germination as I did last year. I would say at least 75 to 80% of them germinated, which I would say is really good, and it probably would have been better, but this is only my second year growing them. So don't toss your seeds after 1 year. I've seen people make comments like, saying that they feel like, they don't want to waste their time starting them because they say that they don't keep more than a year. Please don't do that. That's such a waste of money. A lot, I don't know if it's the companies spreading the rumor or, to get you to buy more seeds, or just, maybe one person had bad luck or what, but I have seeds, like I have all of my totes over here. I have seeds that I've had over 10 years, and some of them are still germinating like they were brand new. I gotta take one more drink because my voice is going out. Excuse me. All right, so for the Lisianthus, like I said, I got this because I was afraid that my GeoSeed order wouldn't come in time, and these you have to start, for me, here in Zone 6B in January. Well, you can start them in February, especially depending on the group 1 through 4, because some of them, they don't bloom until way later in the season. But I kind of had like a panic I had a panic moment there for a minute. So, sorry. So the first one I got was Voyage to Lavender. I got Voyage to Lavender and Voyage to Pink. Those are like frilly petaled Lisianthus. And if you don't know anything about Lisianthus, they are extremely slow growing flowers. It says here that these take 140 to 150 days to maturity. You know, if you look at something like a zinnia that takes as little as 45 days, that's a long time. Something like a sunflower around 65 days, you know, that's double to triple, quadruple, you know, the amount of time of most flowers. So they grow extremely slow. But other than growing extremely slow and having to be careful not to let them get over 85 degrees, and then the fact that they want to be more than just moist to germinate, like they want to be like almost like wet, like pretty wet to germinate. And I think it's mainly because of the pelleted part. That's really the only thing. Like, I don't think that they're difficult. They just have different needs than a regular, you know, your run of the mill seeds. So if you're scared to grow them, give them a try. Like I said, they want to be wet. And until they germinate, they want to be wet. In order to germinate, they just grow slow. And then you want to make sure not to let them get over 85 degrees, because they can do something called rosetting, which is where they send out a lot of, you know, here's your stem. They'll send out a lot of side shoots instead of ever, you know, blooming. But if you see a lot of side shoots, don't worry. I thought that mine were doing that last year, and I was getting ready to pull them up. I was afraid that I was, you know, wasting all that space and I was never going to get any blooms. And I'm so glad that I didn't, because these are like the most beautiful flowers I've ever grown. And yeah, I'm very glad that I didn't pull them up. They all ended up blooming just fine. So yeah. The next variety I got is Dublini Rose. Last year I grew Dublini White. It's a lot smaller. It's only like that big, but there's multiple. So it's like a group of like 5, I guess like a spray rose would be. And they were like a pure white, like no touch of yellow or pink or blush or anything like that. Just a pure white, and a very crisp white. And it was like perfect for almost any color to like contrast against like the dark purple, or, you know, just whatever I put it with. It was just perfect. I also got the Dublini mix from GOC. The next one is Roseanne Green. I've been wanting to grow this one ever since seeing Nicole at Flower Hill Farm grew this one. And then from Swallowtail, I got Ecco Picatee. I grew blue Picatee, which is actually purple, last year. And like, it took my breath away. Whenever I seen it in the garden, I was actually doing a video, and I was getting ready to show you guys something in a video, or maybe I was like doing something before I was gonna do the video, but I literally stopped what I was doing and did like a Lisianthus update, because it just like took my breath away. It was so beautiful. I've never seen, like, I'm speechless. Like, it's just so beautiful. Which, I'm a sucker for roses, and they look a lot like roses, so that's probably got a lot to do with it. But next I got Ecco Yellow, and then Ecco Lavender. I spent a lot of time on the GeoSeed catalog, and I looked up all of the varieties of Lisianthus and wrote down each one, like each color. So say, you know, Ecco, I wrote down all the colors that was in the Ecco series, and I did that for all of them. And I I did that to try to get like as many colors as I could, but to be able to buy as few series as possible, because I didn't want to buy every series, you know. I do have to, although I have a lot of seeds, I can't go too crazy. So I did, like, I literally, what I'm getting at is I spent a lot of time this year to try to make sure that I could have every color possible in several different series. So you're going to see a lot of Lizzie Ain't this year, is what I'm getting at. Next, let's do Floret. One second. My mouth is so dry, my throat is so dry because I've been drinking coffee all day, so now I'm dehydrated. All right, so first we have, let's see. So first, let me just mention, everything that I've went through so far has all been for the cut flower garden. If it's not something for the cut flower garden, then I will say that. Like this one here that I got from Floret, bread seed poppy pink peony. This one isn't something that will last very long in a vase, so this one isn't for the cut flower garden. I got 2 sweet peas. I didn't get very many from Floret this year. I did want to quickly go over some of the ones that I bought last year, just because a lot of these were, like I really liked a lot of these, and I still have some of the seeds. So I do just want to mention these quickly. Excuse me. But I tried to just get the things that I couldn't get anywhere else, because her seeds are, you know, a little costly when you consider that you can get them from somewhere else for either the same price but get a lot more seeds, or, you know, for cheaper. So I try to get just the things that only she carries or that I couldn't get anywhere else. So the sweet peas I got was Enchante, and Turquoise. These are so gorgeous. I cannot wait to grow those. Next, I got straw flower. I got candy pink straw flower. Like I said, I grew the silvery rose last year, and it was gorgeous. And I wanted to get this one because it's a little bit darker pink, and also because my name is Candace, and most of my friends and family call me Candy, and I can never find my name on anything, so I had to get it just for that. Next, I got Amobium. This was, it's kind of like I got some of that here too. It's kind of like a baby's breath. Can you see that? These are dried, of course. And some of these I harvested a little too late, so they've got like a brown center. But if you harvest them early enough, the center is still white. Excuse me. I really liked these. Just for the simple fact that, you know, they're multi-purpose. You can dry them also. But I don't know. I guess I'm a sucker for like anything like small and white, because it just like, it adds like that perfect touch. So I got that, and then I got another La France carnation, because the one that I got from M.I. Gardner, most of his seeds are great, like hands down, you know, just as good as anywhere anywhere else, usually. But I have ran into some of them that don't have the best germination rate, and I don't know if that's normal for that seed or if it's just, I highly doubt it's an MI Gardener issue. But I did notice, like on a lot of my snapdragons that I sowed like several in one tray, the same with Floret. I ran into a couple, like my Costa Silver, like none of them germinated. I think like 2 out of like a large number of Costa Silver snapdragons. And then like my Bells of Ireland from MI Gardener and my La France carnations, I think it was probably like 50% of them germinated. So I got this just for the simple fact that I was running low on the ones from MI Gardener, and they weren't germinating the best. All right, so the other ones that I wanted to mention from Floret that I grew last year, the first one is Frosted Explosion Grass. Nicole at Flower Hill Farm, I discovered this through her channel. This was almost as good as the Cosmos when it comes to being like the perfect green, like frilly filler. I would say they each have their own like pros and cons. Like the Cosmos, the one issue I ran into with the Cosmos is whenever it was about to send up a bloom, the stem would get really, really thin and more fragile, I guess. And then these, whenever they went to seed, it was also, in the heat of the summer. But whenever it was about to go to seed, it would go to seed like super quick. So like they would be not ready that night, and then like the next morning, if I didn't get out there that morning, by the afternoon they were like already dropping seeds. Maybe it wasn't the next morning, maybe it just felt like that afternoon. But I feel like I would go out there at night or the day before and they weren't ready, and then the next day they were all dropping seeds. So I guess what I'm saying is you want to harvest them as soon as they're ready, maybe even before they're ready, because I invested in landscape fabric this year, but if I wouldn't have, I feel like I would be having thousands and thousands of these popping up next year. So next I have Unicorn Zinnia. I'm so glad I didn't plant all of these last year because these were absolutely gorgeous and they did not sell them this year. Super excited about growing those. Which I will say though, out of the ones that I grew, a lot of them were very underwhelming. I would say about 50% of them were singles and were like this one color. It was kind of like an orangey, peachy color, but not like a really pretty orangey, peachy color. I just didn't care for it. So I will say they're not, I don't know if it's that it's not like a stable variety. I don't know a ton about when it comes to like plant genetics and all that stuff. But I do know that I've seen other people talking about how they had a lot of them that, weren't very pretty, and then they had a lot that were. So that's just something to mention. Hopefully a lot of these are going to be the pretty ones. So last year I also, this is actually one that I got this year. Bee's Choice Mixed Dahlia. I want to try growing some more dahlias from seed. I grew a ton of them last year from the Discovering Dahlias seed packet. Unfortunately, most of them were not the prettiest, which I know that, you know, with dahlias, with seed dahlias, most of them are going to be singles. I didn't know that at the time, but I know that now. But even if they were singles, I wouldn't really have cared, but they were all like the same, like red color with like a yellow center. So that kind of bummed me out because, you know, I allotted a lot of my perennial cut flower garden to what I thought was going to be, you know, pinks and yellows and, you know, all these different color dahlias, and they were all red with a yellow center. But it was still super fun. I'm not complaining. It was still super fun to grow them. I'm very happy that they included them in the book. But I'm going to try again with a different variety. Let me see if any of you have said anything. I've got a glare on my laptop. Yeah, I know bells are pretty difficult, but see, I had several I had bells of Ireland from several companies, and so what I did after that happened is I did in my gardeners. I think I had a burpee package and then Floret package. And I did all three of them again. I did, I think, 40 of each, and the same thing happened. So, hello, Ahava. Thanks for joining. So next I have Mrs. Burns Lemon Basil. Another recommendation from Nicole at Flower Hill Farm. This stuff smells amazing. Every time I went to the garden, like that was the first place I went to, was to run my hands through the basil and smell it, because it was just so intoxicating. And I love lemon, so if you love lemon, you're gonna love this. I had a customer ask me what I sprayed on her bouquet, because she didn't believe that it could, for one, smell that good, because, you know, most flowers around here in grocery stores and things, they don't smell, but also because it was so strong. She said it smelled like I'd, you know, sprayed a bunch of perfume on it. I also grow, two other varieties I like to grow is licorice basil and cinnamon basil. I don't know which is which, but there's one that is a very dark purple with like a purple stem, which is good for, you know, certain things in bouquets. And then the other one is a dark purple and like light purple on the flower, and then it's got a green stem. I think that's the licorice that is like that. And then this one is a green stem with a green and white like flower spike. So I like to grow all three of those, because depending on the color scheme, you know, each one of those kind of fills a need. And then this I grew last year, Love in a Puff. I'm happy I grew this just for the simple fact that if it wasn't for these, I would have hardly ever been able to get anything done, because my 2-year-old would always want to help pull the flowers by just, you know, pulling them instead of, you know, cutting them. And he would go out, finally, when these started making the little puffs, he would go out and like pop every single one of them, and he just had the time of his life. So he would be over there, you know, popping away while I was hurrying up and harvesting flowers. Blue spice. Is that a type of basil? Blue spice basil. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll have to look into that. Okay, let's see. We've got Gardener's Workshop, Baker's Creek, which has a lot of vegetables. What's this? In my gardener. And then this is American Meadows. This is actually, I'll just go through this really quickly because I'm excited about this also. Again, Nicole from Flower Hill Farm, you know, her famous wildflower patch. Well, I have a very large front yard that we sit on a highway, and our house looks at a house that isn't the prettiest, unfortunately. So to kind of block that view and also to kind of attract people like to look this way so that they can see, you know, that I grow flowers here. Because we have a barn that I'd eventually one day like to turn into like my flower shop. I want to grow a ton of wildflowers in my front yard next year. So I got, I think, 2 pounds, or maybe these are a ½ pound each. I can't remember. Excuse me, let's see. Okay, it doesn't say. But anyways, that's what these are, is 1 million wildflower seeds to do basically like almost no, it is 2 pounds. Here it is. It says right here. To do like my entire front of my property in wildflowers next year. I will put in the comments if you're curious. I think that I got Bouquets for Days mixture. That's the one that's like kind of coming back to me. I actually bought those last year, but by the time I like had the idea to do it, we were in our rainy season, and you know, I just had a lot of other things going on, and you know, we never got it done. So they've been sitting in the fridge, and it'll get done this year. Yeah, that is a lot of seeds. I'm so excited. I've never had even a small wildflower patch. Oh, and also like Nicole, how she, you know, takes people's pictures in the flowers. That's something that I'd also like to see if we can do. It's going to depend on how tall it gets. I think it said that some of the flowers would get up to 6 foot tall, because there are some sunflowers, and then, you know, zinnias and cosmos, they'll get, you know, 6 foot tall also. So if it gets tall enough to, you know, to block enough of that view, then I could, you know, have kids, but probably it won't be tall enough for adults. Hello, Moonlight Hill Flower Farm. Thank you for joining. All right. So let me at least get the flowers separate from the vegetables. I just remembered there's one in here that I'm super excited about. Some of these I just opened them just so that it would be easier for the video. And like, I know what I ordered, but when you have this many seeds, sometimes you forget for a second. But I will say, I'm not the type of person to just be like, oh, that's pretty, click. Oh, that's pretty, click. I did give myself like a little bit more free reign this year to experiment than I did last year. But I always have like been purposeful with my seed purchases, because I don't want to get into the situation where I have enough flowers or seeds to grow for like 15 years, you know, and most of them start to go bad before I ever get around to, you know, using them. And it's, you know, I just think that's kind of wasteful. Not, you know, trying to talk bad about anyone that does, but I'm just very frugal, and I don't like to spend money. Oh, and I just remembered one of the melons I got. Well, I didn't remember, I just seen it. All right. So this one, I think it's Fam Flower Farm. I'll put it in the comments after this if you're curious. But I saw this on Instagram. This one, I think it was this one. No, it wasn't that one. It was this one. It doesn't look very pretty on the picture, but when this tomato is cut open, it is so gorgeous. I saw her post this on Instagram a couple months ago, and I was like, I gotta look that tomato up, and I gotta get that because that is gorgeous. And then when I looked that one up, that's when this seed order happened. This was one of the seed orders that wasn't really necessary, and I kind of just let myself have fun and order some things without being too strict. This is absolutely gorgeous. It's a yellow tomato with like bluish purple shoulders. Let me come closer. Since these have pictures, sorry about that. Since these have pictures, I'll just stay right here so that you can see. So the next one I got is Black Strawberry. This one's similar to the one I grew last year called Blueberries, but instead of blue, it looks more purple on the shoulders. Let me see, I just saw a... Oh, okay. I thought someone was mad that I wasn't answering them, but y'all are just talking to each other. Next, I got this one. I think this one I also saw from the same person's Instagram that I saw that Anonymous Nor. This one. I think I also saw this one on her Instagram, but I could be mistaken. But that one's a pure black one. And then this one, if any of you all or are vegetable lovers or flower lovers, you probably know Serena at You Can't Eat the Grass. You probably know that they grow this one for market, or they did. I've been wanting to grow that one for a while. And then this one was my free seed packet. Oh, I got 2 free seed packets with this order. So this is one of the squashes that I ordered. Kajari squash, maybe? I got this one because the seeds are, I think this is the one that the seeds are, yeah, they're holeless. So they don't have to be, you know, taken out of a shell or anything. And you can, it says superb for roasting. So I'm excited to try that. And then I got 2 of these babies. The Kajari Melon. The famous Kajari Melon that Jess from Roots and Refuge made famous. I've been wanting to try this for so many years. I finally got some last year in a seed swap, and I was so excited. but I didn't get them to germinate, unfortunately. And then peppers, I'm going to be doing next year whenever I am selling the flowers. I'm also going to be selling just a few vegetables. Primarily, it's going to be cucumbers, tomatoes, and peppers, and a few other things, but those are going to be the main few things. And so I got this variety of pepper to to sell for those people that don't like the heat but like peppers. I also am excited to try that myself because I don't like peppers, not just because of their heat though. I don't really like the texture either. But I do want to try to get back into trying more things and trying to eat a larger variety of foods because I get in the habit of eating like the same things over and over. So apparently I spent too much money because I got 3 free seeds in this packet. And then the last vegetable is sugar daddy peas. Now for the flowers. I tell you what, Baker Creek's pictures, they get me. So this first one is African Daisy Blue Disc. I saw this one on Nicole's channel last year also, and I wanted to get it last year, but it just wasn't in the budget. This one I am so excited for. Y'all, it's a pink sunflower. What? I am so excited. When I first seen that, I was like, oh, that's ugly because you got these little small kind of straggly petals and then this frilly stuff in the center. And I thought it was ugly. But then once I got like just really looking at it, I don't know, like at first glance, it didn't look the best. But when you really look at it, that is a gorgeous, gorgeous sunflower. It's pink in the center and it kind of fades out to a white, and then it's got that yellow. And I feel like if this was bigger, like you can see in the background, it looks a lot more like puffball-esque. And I feel like it's going to look better if you let it go like to more maturity. This one I'm probably not going to grow for cutting because there was only 10 seeds for $5. I'll probably just grow this one in my flower garden. And then I actually accidentally got 2 of these red flint ageratums. This one seems to be like a darker purple than I've ever seen an ageratum be. I've never grown ageratum. This will be the first time I've grown this. And then I got another one of these. I grew 2 of Floret's Celosias last year, her Super Crest and Pink Champagne. And I think it was the Super Crest that I got one that looks just like the pink flamingo feather. And so I got just that one from Baker Creek because, I used that in so many bouquets. And then this one, I actually ordered this for Nicole at Flower Hill Farm. If you follow her, you know that she has a sister named Jessica that bought her some dahlia seeds last year that were supposed to be like this like bluish purple color. And it was obviously, a scam. But she called it the Jessica Dahlia. And I saw this and thought I would pick this up for her. I owe her so much. She has helped me so much with starting my flower farm. I mean, she's the one that inspired me to grow it. Her, along with Laura at Garden Answer and as well as Tanya at Fresh Cut Kentucky. I found Nicole first, though. Well, I had been watching Laura, but seeing her cut flower farm, like at first, I didn't really feel inspired to start one my own. But whenever I found Nicole's channel, I don't know, it was just something different about her. I think she showed more of like how much she enjoyed the flowers. You know, Laura obviously loves flowers, but she doesn't really express, you know, I guess how much, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like just seeing Nicole on the porch, you know, like having so much fun with her flowers and like smelling them, and you know, it just seems so like relaxing and refreshing. And I don't know. It was just different. Anyways, after finding her channel, then I found Fresh Cut Kentucky and all those other flower channels like Danielle from North Lawn Flower Farm and things like that. But she was the first one, so I figured I would pick those up for her. And then I also got Snow White Gumfreena, and this last year I grew Mammoth Gray Striped and Mongolian Giant. Huge sunflowers. You should check out my sunflower harvesting video from last year to see just how large those got. But this one is supposed to be up to 24 inches across. That's like this big. That is nuts. And the seeds are good for roasting also. All right. So that is it for Baker Creek. Let's see. Let's do Gardener's Workshop next. Give me 1 second. My laptop is going dead, so I'm just going to throw it on the charger super quick so that I can see your guys' comments. All right, one more drink. So sorry if you've been commenting. My laptop went dead, and even before I walked over there, I couldn't see the last few comments, but I will look at them before I get off the live. So Gardener's Workshop had a sale for half off their seeds, so I got most of my sunflowers and zinnias from them. The first one I got is just the regular Veneries Giant Mix. Like I said, if you missed the first part, last year I got a lot of like the single colors because a lot of flower farmers said that it's easier to harvest when you can just do all the reds, all the oranges, all the pinks. And also if you're selling to florists or anything like that, where you possibly need like, you know, say 30 pink snapdragons. If you planted a mix, you have no clue how many, you know, of that color you're going to have. And even if they have sent up one bloom, once you harvest it, you're not going to remember, unless you just have a couple plants, what color that was. So I took their advice, but I've found that at the scale that I'm at, that's not super important to me at this stage. So instead of having to do that again, I bought a lot of the mixes, but just in case there's not a lot of the colors that I like pinks or purples, I bought extra of those colors. This is the Oklahoma mix. And then I got Veneries Giant Pink, Veneries Giant Lime Green, Veneries Giant White, and then I got Pro Cut Plum, Sunrich Gold, and then I also got their Rattle Poppy that you don't use it for the flower, you wait until it makes that like pod. It's like a big green pod that's good for bouquets. And then I also wanted to mention, I got the seeds for the grow along that Nicole is doing with Redemption Seeds. And so from them, I got the Sunrich Orange Sunflower. And then I'm also growing Pro Cut Brilliance and Sunfilled Green. And then I still have a lot of the sunflowers that I grew last year, like White Knight, White Light, Pro Cut Plum. If you want to know more about the sunflowers that I grew last year, you can check out my seed haul that I did last year. I don't want to keep making this video too long. And then I also got another Veneries Giant mix with the grow along, but I went ahead and ordered that one because she mentioned that they may not have enough of the Veneries Giant mixes for everyone doing the grow along. All right, so I have Emma Gardner left, and then I have Geoseed, which isn't here yet. If you missed the beginning of this video, my Geoseed order was supposed to come today and it didn't. And we're an hour and a half in, so let me know in the comments. I'm gonna go check really quick. Let me know if you think that I should save these and do a part 2 and do these with the Geoseed seeds, or if y'all want to just stay on and do this. While my computer comes up, I'm going to get a little bit hot coffee because this has gotten cold. All right, so I've only seen one comment so far from Pixie Flower Farm, Pixie Petals Flower Farm, that says do a part 2. So I think that I'll just save my Gardner seeds for part 2 for the Geoseeds. I know it's already been an hour and a half. Well, I got on here a little bit later than 6, but I know that we all probably have dinner to make and other things to do. I have more seeds to plant, so that's fine. We will just do a part 2. Thank you so much, everyone that has stuck around and been chatting with me and chatting with each other in the comments. I was afraid that no one would be here tonight, so thank you guys for being interested in my seed haul. I would love if you would give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share it with a friend. But I will go ahead and let you guys go for now, and we will come back here. Let's just do this again next Saturday at the same time at about 6, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe 5. Let me know in the comments what works best for you guys. But all right, guys, talk to you later.